Nice Monday review today?
Yeah, look, we try and keep our reviews pretty similar, but last week we focused on some key moments against Melbourne when we didn't quite get the game back on our terms, and so we had a look a lot of our contest and our pressure on the opposition, but then we also looked at the last 3 or 4 minutes when West Coast hit the lead and how we fought back and did a lot of things right in the last 4 or 5 minutes to get the game back on our terms and get a win.
It looks like you came down with no injuries, but any update today? Is everyone pretty fresh?
Yeah, everyone's really good out of it. So it's we've got through our twos unscathed too. So hopefully by the end of the week, Sammy Day might be our only injury on the list, which would be a great outcome. So that just puts pressure on everyone and make sure that you can keep your form. It dictates whether you stay in the team or not, and there's always going to be pressure from down below. Our reserves were terrific on the weekend, so it just puts good pressure on the 22 that go out and play, and if we don't get the result, or individually we don't, it keeps guys on edge, so it's a great spot to be in, but it doesn't guarantee you getting the 4 points on the weekend.
Are any of those blokes who came back into the twos or have been there for a couple of weeks back from injury, like Benny Ainsworth or anything like that, would they be ready to contend for AFL sport, or do they just need a bit more time? Or?
Yeah, look, we think our rehab program is pretty good and it gets them pretty fit, game fit, ready to play. We'll have to weigh that up at match committee, but yeah, we've had probably 4 or 5 who've come back the last week or 2 weeks. We've had 1 or 2 guys string a really good month or 5 weeks of really good footy together. But after a win, you like to try and validate the 22 who did the job for you and staying in the team also. So we'll select that later in the week. But obviously, there's some guys who are putting pressure on, and we've just got to weigh up when we think they're ready and if they, if their position justifies to come into the team or not.
Is he still on track to make a comeback in the reserves this weekend?
Yeah, he'll play Saturday, I think they're on, so that'll be his first game in about 11 months. So he's been out training with us full on the last probably month. He's ready to go, looking forward to getting out there, and our expectations aren't too high of how he goes out there. We're just looking forward to him having bat on the track, and he's gone through a fair bit of work, but he's ready to go, and we'll play his first game back for us. Will be terrific.
Albert quotes that there's still plenty of work after the win. Does Peter Wright's last-minute save change any team skills for future games?
Not really. I think it validates some good leadership for Peter Wright. He was terrific in that regard. He hadn't been playing his greatest footy over the last month or so, but he stood up in a key moment for us and went back and sealed the game. Then obviously had another shot and was really smart with the decisions he made then. So I think it just gives Pete confidence in what he's doing. He's still a young player learning his craft. He certainly gets a fair bit of attention onto him, but we keep going back to Peter playing his role for us, and he was really composed in a key moment for us. So hopefully he gets a bit of belief out of that, and we certainly internally understand where he's at, and are certainly happy with his progress, how he's going, and we all want to fast track them and get them to be the best they can be, but it does take some time.
So was there any feedback given to Peter Wright after his performance?
Yeah, look, we reviewed it today, the last 3 or 4 minutes of the key moments of the game, and we certainly gave him some good feedback on his leadership. He kicked the goal and actually organised what we need to do behind the ball to make sure we save the game, and so his focus went from winning the game for us to trying to make sure we stayed in front. So I think that showed a fair bit from Peter, and hopefully it validates what we believe in him, and he can take a bit more pride in his performance, and hopefully that's a stepping stone for him for his form to keep improving.
Matty, you spoke about those big moments at the end there, and Peter Wright, obviously he topped it off for you, but in the last few weeks you see like Melbourne and a few other games where you crumbled under pressure, but it was the complete opposite on the weekend. Have you seen enough as a coaching group to see, like, significantly to see that it's flipped and the team can fight when its momentum is maybe going against it? Yeah, look, it's that's the battle of AFL footy. The momentum always shifts. It's how long it shifts for and how quickly you can get it back on your terms. So we haven't been quite good enough over the last few weeks to get it back on our terms. We were on the weekend. And AFL just presents another opportunity this week. We travel away from home, we played the MCG, we play Hawthorn who are coming off a loss, so everything we did about it, we focus on it, we review it, we learn from it, and we try and implement that again this week, and that'll be our challenge for our 22 who go down there to make sure they play the same intensity, the same contested possession, and if the game's close, hopefully we'll make sure it going our way, but we know Hawthorn will come hard, and how long we can play the game on our terms compared to them. Will go a fair way to indicating who can win the game. And that's been the balance the whole year for the whole competition. It's the games always swing both ways, and the teams who can stay at the longest are often getting the points and the reward. We we've seen Hawthorn have its own struggles, and you got one over them this year so far, but back at home in Melbourne, are you expecting a vastly different performance from Hawthorn?
Oh, look, they're got a lot of pride in their team. They've had some terrific wins this year, especially coming off some losses that they wouldn't have been happy about. So we know what we're going to expect this week off a really proud club. And we've gone to Melbourne once this year and had a good win, and also gone down there and had a disappointing close loss. So it's another opportunity for us to play at the MCG. I think our only opportunity, and we need to get a win to keep in touch with what the rest of the competition is doing. So you can string a few wins together, you can really get some momentum going and improve your position on the ladder and how you're tracking.
Do you learn anything from their game on the weekend, if you saw it, and how they were able to be restricted so much early on?
Oh, look, I think you can definitely take the way that Port Adelaide played out of it. We played them a few weeks ago, and they gave us a lesson in how hard they are at the footy and how well they defend and how quickly they move the ball. So all the three facets you need to be good at, they were. And I think Hawthorn would probably agree they were off compared to what they were the week before when they won against Sydney. So both teams are looking to bring the same kind of effort we did on the weekend, and they'll be looking to bring what they brought a couple of weeks ago against Sydney. So it's a mindset challenge and also a 22 challenge, and that'll be our key focus come Saturday afternoon.